Okay, what I'd like to do today is show you the components of the complete Full Monty Retro Pro chassis jig, and it's composed of the basic jig plate with alignment holes and lines, and also a new optional function for a wire bending adaptility. Okay, so we have the new wire bending function. And the accessories include the optional center slide, additional center slide, a hold-down clamp with screws, a wire bending mandrel, and we have two sets of 8 pins. The top set is for the axle alignment, and these smaller pins are for the chassis pan alignment. And then these pins are for the wire bending function of the tool. Ready? Okay, the next thing I'd like to show you is the... Okay, this is the basic arrangement for your chassis jig alignment. And you might use this with chassis jig wheels, but basically these 8 pins are used to align your axles. And then we have these smaller pins here, which could be used for a wide variety of cars, Can-Am and jail door, or again, a wide variety of different types of cars for your pan alignments. And the staggered pin pattern here is spaced at 1/32 increments, pulling in and out. The hold-down clamp holds your clamp down, or holds your chassis down while you're working on it, and these rear pinholes are used to align your back axle in 1/16 increments in relation to the front axle. Okay, the next part of the Retro Pro chassis jig tool that works with the JK chassis, like this JK11, is this optional center slide. And the way this works is you've got your forward center slide, and you lock that in place, and then you take the center slide and you move it back so it basically locks in the center of the chassis. And then what you could do is use your hold down clamp to hold the chassis down further. Okay, now we're going to go into the wire bending option, and basically it's used to make a wide variety of angle bends, but some of the handy uses of it would be making a U-bend for your chassis. And if you'll notice, we have these sets of pins, and I've got one in the chassis already, which is the center pin. There are 3 brass pins and 2 steel pins. The brass pins have a larger diameter, and those are used for the 062 wire, and then the smaller diameter pins, which are made out of steel, are used for the 078 wire. The brass pin in this position stays there in either case. Okay, so I'm going to bend some 062 wire. So I'm going to put my brass pins in for the 062 wire. Okay, and I'm going to make a U-bend for the center section of the chassis. And so what I use is my tool bending or wire bending mandrel, and you'll notice that it has a little slot in it. Well, that slot, the mandrel goes into the hole. Okay, then you capture the wire with that slot, and you'll feel it go down. Then when I bend my wire, I basically hold the wire down firmly, bend the wire, and you have your alignment lines here, and we have a 90-degree bend. Okay. Now, if I want to take that wire and make a U-bend, I use this 1/8" pin. Okay, and if I want to make it at 1 inch, I put it in one of these 3 holes. We've got a 1-inch hole, a .926, and a .75 hole. So I put the pin into my 1-inch hole, because I'm making a 1-inch bend, and I have these holes here, which are a little hard to see. Okay, but they're all part of, they have a dual purpose. They work for the pan alignment and also for the wire bending. I've got a 1-inch again, a .926 and a .75 series of holes here. Now I'm going to be using the 1 inch, and you'll notice the 1 inch has a .062 position and a .078 position. I'm going to be putting these little brass pins that I use for my pan alignment into the 1 inch holes, okay, in the closer position to this pin, which is used for the .062 wire. I lay my wire in just like that, okay, so you can see that the wire is being captured by these pins. You have it right up against this this pin, and these two pins are holding the wire and actually helping it not to distort when I do the bending. Then I take my mandrel, again, make sure I push it down far enough and it captures the wire, and then go ahead and bend your wire to the alignment line. Okay, right there. Okay. Now I have a U-shaped bend for my center section, and if I check this, it's just a few thousandths larger than 1 inch. Now I'm going to make a longer 4-inch U-shaped bend, and again I'm going to be bending 062 wire. I'll be using the same brass pins. If I was bending 078 wire, I would replace these with the steel pins. This pin, this 1/8 inch pin, I can take out. Okay, now we're going to bend a longer U-shaped bend, a 4-inch, with a 4-inch piece of wire or piano wire brass, and very commonly used with the jailhouse door type of retro cars. And I'll be bending 062 wire, and if you'll notice, with 062 wire again, I have my brass pins, which are the larger diameter. If I was bending 078 wire, I would use the steel pins with a smaller diameter, and again the center pin here is always a brass pin with a larger diameter. And so what I'll be using is my front slide to adjust the length of the wire that I want. I have a length indication mark of about 4 inches, but you may have to experiment a little bit with your lengths to get it exactly right. But at that stage, if you have your center mark marked there, it is 4 inches to the center of the wire. Now, I take my wire, I put it in, and again I take my mandrel and put it down, lock it in place, bend the wire. You might have to overbend it a little bit and tweak it and bend it back until you get it aligned. And once I have that set, okay, then I take one of my small pins, and we have 2 alignment holes here, okay, and these are used to help the wire bend straight, and one that is a little further back is for .078, and this closer one is for .062, so I'll put this pin in here, and then I've got my center slide, or my guide tongue slide, set for 4 inches, and I lay my wire in like that. Okay, hold it down firmly, and what you could also do is put a guide flag nut on this to hold it down if you'd like, or just hold it down by hand. Put your mandrel in, make sure it's pushed down all the way, bend your wire. Can you see this? Okay. Bend your wire so it's aligned, and retro wow, you've got a nice U-shaped wire bend, okay, with precision. Okay, and with this full Monty kit, if you decide to buy it on eBay, you can. You can also ask your local track owner if they carry the kit, and we'd be happy to sell it to you through them. And thank you very much.